The question arises, how important and significant is boycott, divestment and sanctions? Ask us South Africans.
Primary liberators of South Africa were South Africans. Protest in our country, it was young people facing South African military might with stones. It was young people being willing to be arrested. It was boycotts inside the country. We would have in our Black communities times when we would not shop in the white centers of town, withholding our economic power from our oppressors. It was the strikes led by the South African trade union movement in different industries, whether it was the mining industry, whether it was the farming industry. So the internal was key to the end of apartheid.
We saw through our struggle that when the world, in a global anti-apartheid movement of international solidarity, decided that they would use this tool, a peaceful tool, but a very active and militant one, of isolating South Africa. And they started with the boycott of South African products, with the boycott of South African sports teams, cricket and rugby, with divestment from their universities and their churches and companies into supporting the apartheid machine or their military machinery, their equipment, which was sold from the likes of Britain and America and so on, and Germany and France to South Africa.
Being further underlined by the US Congress's decision to impose economic sanctions.
Okay, to use even the US as an example, that it was grassroots activists who forced Congress to pass the sanctions bill against apartheid South Africa.
The boycott is a very important weapon of struggle in South Africa. We used it politically, economically, socially as well. We believed in a system of non-collaboration, that you don't become instruments of your own oppression. And within the political machinery, we didn't allow ourselves to be entrapped by that political machinery. So the management committees, the political structures which the rulers imposed on us, which was segregated and inferior and dummy and racial, we didn't participate in it. And we rendered that totally powerless in our struggle.
They loved to have entertainers coming to South Africa, artists coming to perform in South Africa. And when they were not able to have, the first tier performers, when Artists Against Apartheid formed in this country, again, major entertainment trauma for white South Africans. People like Stevie Wonder, like Michael Jackson, like Quincy Jones were heading this movement to discourage artists from going to perform in South Africa. The psychological impact of being isolated from what was going on in the world was a major effect on white South Africans and therefore on the white minority regime.
Then the question is, what forced them to move? It was the resilience of South African people. It was the determination and the escalation of the struggle against apartheid. It was that. But it was also the growth of international solidarity with the South African people. And the third thing is, South Africa, and this is seldom spoken about, South Africa had begun to win a number of battles on our borders with the support, of course, of the Cubans. the truth is that there was an armed dimension to our liberation struggle. So what will it take to get the Palestinians to this point? In some ways, all three of these dimensions. The one significant difference is that the enemy that the Palestinians face is far more formidable, and the international support that it has, it is far more entrenched than what was the case in South Africa.